Settle in gently, my friend. Let the quiet of the last city fade. Just a little. Tonight, London begins to change in a way it never has before. Not slowly, not quietly, but steadily and without turning back. The calm streets you once walked begin to fill. The measured rhythms begin to tighten, and the city, once balanced and contained, starts to grow beyond itself. Not into chaos, but into something vast. A city of iron, of steam, of movement that does not pause. Tonight, we step into the moment London becomes something larger than a city. If quiet journeys like this help you slow down or rest a little deeper at the end of the day, you're always welcome here. Subscribing softly just helps this space remain calm and lets more nights like this continue. So tonight, we leave behind the balance of Georgian London and step gently into something new. Not louder, but fuller. Not faster, but heavier with motion. A city of stations, factories, bridges of iron, and streets that never truly rest. Let your thoughts slow as the city begins to accelerate, and we follow it one quiet step at a time. A city that chooses balance. Settle in gently, my friend. Let the night gather quietly around you. Let your thoughts loosen just a little. Tonight, we step into a different London. Not a city of crisis, not a city of fire or plague, but a city that has learned something rare: how to be calm. The year is 1714. A new dynasty has arrived. The Georgian age begins not with spectacle, but with adjustment. London does not resist. It does not celebrate loudly. It accepts, after turbulence, a different kind of strength. The city remembers what came before. Civil war, execution, restoration, fire, rebuilding. All of it still lingers, not as noise, but as memory. And from that memory, London chooses something new. Not dominance, not chaos. Balance. A city that lowers its voice. Georgian London does not shout. It speaks in measured tones. Buildings align neatly. Streets open with intention. Facades mirror one another. There is a sense that everything has been considered. Nothing is accidental. Order is a form of comfort. Walk slowly now through a Georgian square. The buildings are even. Windows placed with care. Doors centered, symmetrical. This is not only design, it is reassurance. London begins to understand that order can calm the mind. The rise of the townhouse. Houses grow taller, narrow at the front, deep within. Each level serves a purpose. Ground floor for receiving, upper floors for living, lower spaces for work unseen. Life becomes layered. London hides complexity behind elegance. The street as a social mirror. Step outside. The street reflects those who live upon it. Well-kept facades suggest stability. Clean entrances imply discipline. London becomes aware of appearance, not vanity. Presentation. Elegance without excess. There is beauty here, but it is controlled. No overwhelming decoration, no chaotic detail. Instead, proportion, balance between elements. London discovers restraint as a form of refinement. A city that moves slowly. Movement feels different now. Carriages pass, but without urgency. Footsteps follow predictable rhythms. The city does not rush forward, it proceeds. Time becomes gentle structure. Time is no longer chaotic. Days begin at expected hours. Meals occur with consistency. Appointments matter. London begins to trust time, and time in return becomes softer. The Thames remains constant. Walk with me now to the river. The Thames flows as it always has, unconcerned with style, unchanged by elegance. Boats pass quietly. Water moves steadily. London learns that beneath all refinement, something older remains. Public and private life separate. Georgian London creates distinction. Public life is composed, private life is hidden. Conversations differ depending on space. Behavior shifts with setting. London becomes skilled in quiet duality. Conversation as a social art. Words matter more now. Speech is measured, tone controlled. Silence is not awkward, it is respected. London learns that speaking less can mean understanding more. The gentle rise of routine. Routine settles into daily life. Morning Morning begins predictably. Afternoon flows steadily. Evening closes softly. This repetition is not dull. It is stabilizing. London rests within rhythm. The city reflects itself. For the first time, London begins to observe itself, not just survive, not just rebuild, but reflect. It notices its streets, its habits, its patterns. The city becomes self-aware, calm as achievement. This calm is not natural. It is earned, built slowly from centuries of instability. London understands that peace requires maintenance, so it chooses restraint again and again, the presence of quiet confidence. There is confidence here, not loud, not declared, felt in the alignment of streets, in the steadiness of movement, in the predictability of daily life. London does not need to prove itself. The beginning of Georgian identity. This is the beginning of something distinct, a London that values proportion, that prefers calm over display, that finds beauty in balance. This identity will shape everything that follows. Hold this image gently now. A quiet square, even rows of windows, soft footsteps along stone, the river moving without interruption. A city that has chosen balance. Breathe slowly. Let the calm settle deeper. Inside the quiet rooms. Settle a little deeper now, my friend. Let the outside world grow softer, more distant. Tonight, we step away from the streets of Georgian London and move quietly indoors, not into grand palaces, not into halls of power, but into the rooms where life is lived slowly, carefully, and with intention. The door closes gently. Imagine a Georgian townhouse. The door closes behind you with a soft, solid sound, not loud, not abrupt. Inside, the noise of the city fades almost immediately. London remains outside, life becomes contained, rooms with purpose. Each room has meaning. Nothing is random. The front room receives visitors. The back room allows privacy. Upper floors hold quieter life. Lower levels support what is unseen. Space is organized, not just for use but for feeling. London begins to live in structure. The language of furniture. Furniture is arranged with care. Chairs placed at measured distance. Tables centered, not crowded. Nothing overwhelms the room. There is space between objects. And in that space, calm settles. Light enters softly. Windows are tall. Light enters without harshness. Curtains filter brightness into something gentle. Rooms are not brightly illuminated. They are softly revealed. London prefers subtlety over exposure. Fireplaces as centers of stillness. The fireplace holds quiet importance. It does not dominate. It gathers. People sit near it. Warmth spreads gradually. Flames move slowly, unpredictably, yet calmly. Time feels different near a fire. The sound within the house. Listen carefully. The sound here is different from the street. A chair shifting. Footsteps above, the faint crackle of fire. Silence is not empty. It is filled with small human presence. The ritual of daily life. Life unfolds through quiet routines. Tea prepared slowly. Letters written with care. Books opened without urgency. Nothing is rushed. Even tasks feel reflective. London learns that routine can be restful. Conversation in low voices. People speak gently indoors, not out of fear, out of habit. Voices lower naturally. Words are chosen. Pauses are allowed. Conversation becomes something shared, not performed. Privacy is a new value. Privacy becomes important. Doors close. Rooms separate. People have space to withdraw. This is new. London begins to understand the need for inward life. The presence of books. Books appear more frequently. Shelves hold knowledge, not for display alone, for quiet engagement. Reading becomes common. Thought deepens in silence. Writing as reflection. Writing slows the mind. Ink touches paper deliberately. Words are formed with intention. Letters carry emotion carefully without excess. London learns to think through writing. Meals as gentle structure. Meals occur at expected times, not hurried, not chaotic. Food is shared calmly, conversation flows between bites. The act of eating becomes part of rhythm. Servants and invisible movement. Much of the house functions quietly. Servants move in the background. Doors open and close without attention. Work happens without interruption. London organises labour so that calm remains undisturbed. The upper rooms climb slowly upward. Bedrooms are simpler, less formal, more personal. Here the city feels far away. Rest becomes possible. Night falls differently indoors. As night arrives, the house softens. Candles replace daylight. Shadows grow longer. Movement slows. The world outside fades completely. London becomes quiet within walls. Time feels slower inside. Indoors, time stretches. Moments feel longer. There is no urgency, only presence. London discovers that time is experienced differently depending on space, the balance between inside and outside. The house becomes a counterpoint to the city. Outside, movement, trade, society. Inside, stillness, reflection, rest. London holds both worlds at once and learns to move between them. Emotional restraint. Emotion is present but controlled. Joy is quiet, sorrow is private. Feelings exist but do not overwhelm. London practices emotional balance as carefully as architectural balance, a life of contained complexity. Beneath this calm lies complexity. Thoughts unspoken, concerns unshared, but the structure of life holds them gently. The house becomes a container for everything that cannot be expressed openly. End of the chapter. Hold this image gently now. A quiet room. Soft light through tall windows. A fire moving slowly. Pages turning. Voices low. A life lived inward. Breathe slowly now. Let the stillness deepen. Where the city thinks together. Settle a little deeper now, my friend. Let the quiet of the room fade gently as we step back outside. Not into noise, not into urgency, but into a different kind of space, a shared space, from private thought to public presence. Inside the house, thought is silent, letters are written, books are read, ideas form slowly, but Georgian London does not keep thought contained. It allows ideas to move outward, from room to street to conversation. The city begins to think together, the gentle rise of coffeehouses. Coffeehouses appear quietly across London. They are not grand, not decorated for spectacle. Simple rooms, wooden tables, chairs arranged close enough for conversation, but not crowded. People enter not to be seen, but to listen. The cup that opens the world. A single cup of coffee grants something new. Access to news, to discussion, to ideas beyond one's own home. This is a subtle change, but a powerful one. London begins to lower the barrier between knowing and not knowing. The sound of thought. Listen carefully here. The sound is not loud. Voices overlap gently. Pages turn. Chairs shift slightly. This is not argument, it is exchange. London learns that thinking can happen in the presence of others without becoming conflict. Newspapers as daily rhythm. Printed newspapers become regular, expected. They arrive with consistency. People read them slowly, fold them carefully, discuss them later. Information gains rhythm. London no longer waits for news. It anticipates it. Time between reaction and reflection. There is space between reading and responding. People do not react instantly. They consider, pause, revisit. London develops patience in thought, the quiet arrival of the Enlightenment. No banners announce it, no single moment defines it, but gradually something changes. Reason becomes valued, observation gains importance, questions are allowed. London does not rebel against tradition, it refines it. Learning is a shared experience. Knowledge is no longer solitary. People learn together. They explain to one another. They correct gently. They expand ideas slowly. London becomes collaborative in thinking, libraries and access. Books move beyond private collections. Libraries begin to open, not to everyone equally, but to more people than before. Knowledge becomes something that can be visited, like a place. Falses that encourage thinking. The design of the city supports this change. Rooms for gathering, tables for reading, corners for quiet discussion. Even parks begin to serve a purpose beyond walking. They become spaces for thought. Walking as conversation. People walk and talk, side by side, not facing each other. This softens conversation. Ideas move more easily when bodies move gently. London learns that thinking does not require stillness, only attention. The role of politeness. Disagreement exists, but it is controlled. Voices remain even. Words are chosen carefully. London prefers persuasion over confrontation. This slows progress, but it deepens understanding. Women and invisible influence. Women shape intellectual life in quieter ways. They host gatherings, guide discussions, set tone and direction. Their influence is not always recognized publicly, but it is felt. London's thinking depends on these unseen structures. Science without spectacle. Discovery continues. Experiments are conducted, observations recorded. But science is not dramatic, it is careful, measured. London values truth discovered slowly. Museums and order, collections begin to form. Objects gathered, categorized, displayed. The world is brought into rooms, organized for understanding. London believes that knowledge can be arranged into clarity. Art as reflection, not escape. Art reflects the age. Portraits show calm confidence. Scenes emphasize balance. London paints itself as it wishes to be, composed, thoughtful, measured. The limits of inclusion. Not everyone is included. Access remains uneven. Some voices are heard more than others. London's calm surface contains quiet exclusions, but even this awareness begins to grow. The city learns to listen. Perhaps the most important change is this. London learns to listen, not only to authority, but to itself, to different perspectives, to new ideas. Listening becomes a civic skill, thought as identity. Thinking becomes part of identity, not just what one knows, but how one considers. London begins to define itself not only by trade or power, but by reflection. End of the chapter. Hold this image gently now. A quiet coffee house. Soft voices layered over one another, pages turning slowly. People walking side by side through green paths, speaking without urgency. A city learning to think together. Breathe slowly now. Let the thoughts settle. Where movement becomes habit. Settle a little deeper now, my friend. Let the quiet conversations fade behind you. The coffee house grows distant. The voices soften. Tonight, we follow those ideas as they leave the table and begin to move through the city. Thought begins to travel. Ideas do not stay where they are spoken. They move, carried in memory, repeated in conversation, shared across distance. Georgian London begins to understand something subtle. That thought is not fixed, it travels, and as it travels, the city must learn to move with it. Streets that welcome movement. Walk slowly now into the streets. They feel different from before, wider, more deliberate, less uncertain. The old medieval tightness has softened. Space opens, not empty, but navigable. London no longer traps movement, it guides it. The sound of wheels, listen closely. The sound of carriage wheels becomes steady, wood against stone, a soft repeating rhythm, not chaotic, not hurried. The city develops a pulse, and it is not fast, it is consistent. Carriages as moving rooms, carriages pass by. Inside, people sit facing one another. They speak, they read, they think. Movement does not interrupt life, it carries it. London discovers that motion can be an extension of stillness, walking as observation. Some choose not to ride, they walk, slowly, step by step. They notice small details, a doorway, a window, a change in light. Walking becomes a way of seeing. London reveals itself gradually to those who do not rush. Bridges that remove distance. Approach the river now. The Thames no longer feels like a barrier. Bridges cross it with quiet confidence. People move between north and south without hesitation. The city feels more unified, less divided. London learns that connection reduces uncertainty, with that expansion without noise. Beyond the familiar centre, something is happening. New streets appear, not dramatically, not suddenly. They extend outward like a breath. Fields become roads, paths become addresses. London grows, but it does not announce it. The first sense of suburb. Some areas feel different, quieter, less crowded. Air moves more freely. These are not yet fully separate from the city. They are no longer entirely within it. London begins to exist in layers. Distance changes meaning. What once felt far now feels reachable. A journey that required effort now feels manageable. Distance softens. The city expands not only in space, but in perception. Time aligns with movement. With movement comes coordination. People begin to expect arrival at certain times. Appointments form, schedules settle, time becomes shared. London begins to move together, the rhythm of daily travel. Morning begins with motion. Carriages leave. Footsteps fill the streets. Midday slows slightly. Evening returns movement home. The city breathes in cycles, inward, outward, again and again. Trade follows the roads. Goods move more smoothly. Markets receive supplies with regularity. Shops restock without interruption. Commerce becomes reliable. London's economy depends not on speed, but on consistency. The river still carries everything. Despite roads and carriages, the river remains essential. Boats glide steadily. Cargo moves quietly. The Thames continues its ancient role. London expands, but it does not forget its origin. Safety through visibility. Movement brings awareness. More people in motion means more presence. Streets feel safer, not because danger disappears, but because it is seen. London learns that visibility creates comfort. The city becomes legible. Navigation becomes easier. People recognize routes. They know where streets lead. The city begins to make sense. London is no longer a maze. It is a system, movement without urgency. And yet, there is no rush. Carriages do not race. Pedestrians do not hurry. London chooses a different kind of motion. Steady, measured, predictable. Inequality moves too. Not everyone moves the same way. Some ride comfortably, others walk with burden. The city carries difference within its movement. Elegance does not remove inequality. It arranges it quietly. The city watches itself move. London becomes aware of its own flow. It notices congestion. It adjusts patterns. Growth is not accidental. It is observed. Evening returns stillness. As night falls, movement slows. Carriages return, streets quiet. The rhythm softens. The city exhales, a city that has learned reach. What defines Georgian London now is reach. Not just physical reach, but the ability to connect ideas, people, places, without losing balance. London stretches, but it does not strain. Hold this image gently now. Wide streets under soft light, carriages moving without urgency, footsteps steady and unhurried, bridges connecting quiet distances, a city expanding like a slow breath. London is in motion, but it remains calm. Breathe slowly now. Let the rhythm settle. The art of gentle pleasure. Settle a little deeper now, my friend. Let the movement of the city soften behind you. The wheels grow distant. The footsteps fade. Tonight, we step into another side of Georgian London. Not work, not travel, but leisure. Pleasure without excess. Georgian London does not reject pleasure, but it reshapes it. Enjoyment is not loud, not overwhelming. It is measured, carefully chosen, carefully expressed. London learns that pleasure can exist without chaos, evenings that unfold slowly. As evening arrives, the city changes tone. Daylight fades gently. Candles begin to glow. People prepare for social life. Not rushed, not urgent, anticipated. Evenings are not interruptions. They are extensions of the day. The theatre a shared experience. Theatres open their doors. Inside, light flickers softly. Voices carry across space. Audiences gather. Not loudly, but attentively. They watch together, react together. The theatre becomes a place where emotion is allowed, but contained, performance without chaos. Actors move with intention. Speech is clear, gestures controlled. Even drama feels structured. London does not seek overwhelming sensation. It prefers clarity, understanding. Music that fills the room. Music enters the Georgian world gently, not overpowering, not relentless. Instruments play with balance, piano, strings, voices layered carefully. Music does not demand attention, it invites it. Dancing as social language. Dances take place in halls. Movements are learned, steps repeated. Partners move in patterns. There is elegance in repetition, not improvisation. London expresses joy through control. Gardens as places of leisure. Step outside now. Gardens open in the evening. Paths lit softly. Trees arranged with care. People walk, not for destination, for experience. Conversation flows more easily in motion. The pleasure of being seen. Public spaces allow visibility. People dress carefully, move gracefully. They are seen, but not judged harshly. Presence becomes part of pleasure. London enjoys quiet observation, conversation as entertainment. Not all leisure is spectacle. Much of it is conversation. Stories shared, ideas exchanged. Silence is accepted. Talking becomes a form of relaxation. The rhythm of social gatherings. Gatherings follow patterns. Arrival, greeting, conversation, departure. Nothing abrupt. Everything flows. London values smooth transitions. Food as social connection. Meals become social events. Not excessive, balanced. Courses follow one another. Conversation fills the space between. Eating becomes part of shared time. The role of etiquette. Etiquette shapes behavior, not as restriction, as guidance. People know how to act, what to say, when to pause. This reduces uncertainty. London finds comfort in shared rules, quiet competition. Even in leisure, comparison exists. Clothing, manners, taste. But it is subtle, rarely spoken aloud. London competes without confrontation, spaces of inclusion and exclusion. Not everyone enters these worlds. Access is limited. Invitation matters. London's elegance includes and excludes quietly. The night deepens. As night continues, energy softens. Voices lower, movements slow. People begin to leave. Not suddenly, gradually, returning home. Carriages wait outside. Footsteps echo softly. People return to their homes. The city transitions back into stillness. Pleasure leaves a gentle trace. What remains is not noise, not excitement, but a feeling of having participated, of having been present. London understands that pleasure does not need to linger loudly, a city that enjoys carefully. Georgian London enjoys life, but always with awareness. Balance remains, even in joy. Hold this image gently now. Soft candlelight, music drifting through a room, figures moving in quiet patterns, voices low and steady. A garden path under dim evening light, a city that knows how to enjoy without losing itself. Breathe slowly now, let the calm remain. Beneath the surface of balance, settle a little deeper now, my friend. Let the soft music fade, the candlelight dims, the evening dissolves into quiet. Tonight we remain in Georgian London, but we look a little closer, not at what is shown, but at what is held beneath. A city of surfaces. From the outside, everything feels balanced. Streets are aligned, buildings symmetrical, voices measured. London appears calm, composed, certain of itself, but beneath every surface there is depth, the quiet presence of difference. Not all lives in London feel the same. Some move through wide streets, others through narrow passages. Some dine in candlelit rooms, others work in shadows below. These differences are not always spoken, but they are always present, the upper floors and the lower levels. Return now to the Georgian townhouse. Above, rooms are quiet, ordered, comfortable, warm. Below, movement continues. Work is done, food prepared, tasks repeated. The house contains two worlds, connected but rarely seen together, a labor that remains invisible. Much of the city's calm depends on unseen effort. Servants move quietly, workers begin early, tasks are completed before they are noticed. London learns to maintain elegance by concealing labor. Streets within streets. There are streets that visitors see, and streets they do not. Behind ordered facades lie narrower paths, less symmetrical, less maintained. London exists in layers, some visible, some hidden. Sound changes across space. Listen carefully. In one part of the city, sound is soft. In another, it is sharper. Voices rise, tools strike, movement feels heavier. The same city, but different rhythms. Time feels different here. In elegant spaces, time feels gentle, measured, predictable. Elsewhere, time feels immediate. Tasks must be completed. Days structured by necessity. London holds multiple experiences of time at once, movement without choice. Earlier, we followed movement as comfort. Now we see another form, movement required, not chosen. People walk because they must, carry because they must. The same streets, different meanings. The weight of routine. Routine can calm, but it can also bind. For some, repetition is structure. For others, it is limitation. London's rhythm does not feel the same to every life within it. The quiet awareness of difference. People notice these contrasts, not always openly, but internally. They observe, compare, reflect. London begins to understand itself more fully. Politeness as distance. Politeness remains important, but it also creates distance. Certain topics are avoided, certain realities unspoken. London preserves harmony by not looking too closely. Spaces of limited access. Some doors open easily, others remain closed. Invitation defines experience. Where one can go shapes what one sees. London organizes access carefully, the illusion of uniformity. From afar, the city looks consistent, balanced, but up close, variation appears. Details shift, conditions change. London is not uniform, it is composed. The river sees everything. Walk again to the Thames. The river carries all, goods, people, stories. It does not separate, it observes. London finds something steady here, a reminder that all parts of the city flow together, whether seen or unseen. Moments of overlap. Occasionally worlds meet, a glance exchanged, a path crossed, brief, then gone. London allows these moments but does not dwell on them. A city that holds contradiction. Georgian London does not resolve its differences, it contains them. Elegance above, effort below, calm outside, complexity within. The city learns to hold contradiction without breaking, understanding without judgment. There is no loud conflict here, no sudden shift, only awareness, growing slowly. London does not judge itself harshly. It observes and continues, balance reconsidered. Balance is not perfection, it is arrangement, a way of placing different elements so they do not overwhelm one another. London refines this idea again and again. Hold this image gently now. A quiet street above, a working space below. Soft voices in one room, stronger sounds in another. A city layered, not divided. London is not only elegant, it is complex. Breathe slowly now. Let the layers settle. A city that becomes aware of itself. Settle a little deeper now, my friend. Let the layers of the city rest gently in your mind, above and below, seen and unseen. Tonight, London does something quieter than building, quieter than moving, quieter even than thinking together. It begins to understand itself. From living to noticing. For a long time, the city simply existed. It grew, it reacted, it adapted. But now something shifts. London begins to notice its streets, its rhythms, its patterns, not as separate parts, but as something whole. The shape of the city. Walk slowly through Georgian London. You begin to feel its shape, not just see it. Squares open with intention, streets align with care, buildings repeat in quiet harmony. This is no longer accidental growth. It is design, order as identity. Order becomes more than structure. It becomes identity. London is no longer simply a place. It is a way of arranging life. Balanced, measured, controlled. The city begins to recognize this about itself. Cult, reflection in everyday life. People mirror the city. They move with intention, speak with restraint, act within understood limits. Behavior reflects environment. London's identity is lived, not declared. The awareness of reputation. The city begins to consider how it is seen, not only from within, but from beyond. Visitors arrive, stories travel. London becomes conscious of its reputation. It wishes to be known as refined. Elegance as language. Elegance becomes a form of communication. Through clothing, through posture, through speech. Nothing needs to be stated directly. Meaning is carried quietly. London speaks without raising its voice. The balance between pride and restraint. There is pride here, but it is contained, not displayed openly. London understands that confidence does not require announcement. It exists in consistency. Memory remains present. Even in this calm, memory remains of fire, of instability, of uncertainty. But it no longer dominates. It informs. London carries its past quietly, allowing it to shape the present without overwhelming it. The city as example. Other places begin to observe London, its structure, its rhythm, its way of living. The city becomes a reference point, not because it demands attention, but because it maintains itself steadily. Identity without uniformity. Yet London is not identical throughout. Different areas feel different. Different lives unfold differently. But there is a shared tone, a common understanding. The city holds variation within a unified sense of self, the role of habit. Habit reinforces identity. Daily repetition builds familiarity. Familiarity builds confidence. London becomes itself through what it repeats. Awareness without urgency. This self-awareness is not sudden. It develops slowly, without urgency, without declaration. London does not announce what it is becoming. It simply continues. The river reflects the city. Return once more to the Thames. The river reflects the buildings, distorted slightly, moving gently. London sees itself here, not perfectly, but recognizably, a city that observes without judgment. London does not judge itself harshly. It notices, adjusts, refines, again and again. Identity is continuity. What defines the city now is continuity, a sense that tomorrow will resemble today. Not exactly, but closely enough to feel stable. London values this, the quiet confidence of knowing. There is calm in knowing what one is. London reaches this state, not fully, but clearly enough. The city no longer searches for identity. It recognizes it, the limits of self-understanding. And yet, no city understands itself completely. There are always parts unseen, unnoticed, unspoken. London accepts this. A living identity. Identity here is not fixed. It moves, adjusts, grows, but it does so within boundaries. London changes without losing itself. Wad this image gently now. A city reflected in water, streets aligned in quiet order, people moving with calm certainty, a presence that does not need to explain itself. London knows itself, or at least enough. Breathe slowly now. Let that awareness settle. The first quiet signs of change. Settle a little deeper now, my friend. Let the calm of the city remain around you. The order, the balance, the quiet confidence. But tonight something begins to shift. Not loudly, not suddenly, just enough to be noticed. A still surface, a moving depth. From the outside, Georgian London appears unchanged. Streets remain aligned, squares remain balanced, voices remain measured. But beneath this surface, movement continues. Subtle, persistent, London begins to change from within. More people, same space. The city grows, more people arrive, more lives unfold within the same structure. At first, this feels manageable, then noticeable. Rooms feel slightly fuller, streets slightly more active. Nothing overwhelming, just a gentle increase. The edges move further out. The boundaries of London continue to stretch. New houses appear beyond familiar limits. Paths become roads. Fields become neighborhoods. Expansion continues quietly, but steadily. The city reaches farther than before. Movement gains slight urgency. Earlier, movement felt entirely calm. Now, something changes. Carriages move just a little faster. Footsteps carry a hint of purpose. Time begins to feel slightly more important, not rushed, but less relaxed. Trade becomes more demanding. Commerce grows. More goods, more exchange, more expectation. Markets feel busier. Shops restock more frequently. The city begins to depend more heavily on its own efficiency. Sound thickens. Listen carefully. The city sounds different now. Still controlled, but fuller. More wheels, more voices, more movement layered together. London's quiet begins to carry weight. Time tightens gently. Schedules become more precise. Delays feel more noticeable. People begin to measure their days more carefully. Time shifts from structure to expectation. The beginning of pressure, not visible, not spoken, but felt. A subtle pressure begins to exist, to move, to arrive, to keep pace. London does not resist it, but it notices. Elegance holds but adjusts. Despite these changes, the city remains composed. Facades stay balanced. Behavior remains controlled, but beneath this, adaptation begins. Elegance is maintained, but no longer effortless. New ideas about progress. People begin to think differently, not only about stability, but about improvement, how to move faster, how to build more, how to expand further. London begins to consider progress as something active. The river feels the change. The Thames carries more traffic, more boats, more goods. Movement increases. The river remains calm, but busier. London's oldest path begins to feel the future approaching. Spaces begin to strain. Some areas feel tighter, crowded in ways they were not before. Still functional, still ordered, but closer. London begins to test the limits of its own design. The contrast deepens. Differences become more visible, not dramatically, but clearly. Some spaces expand into comfort, others compress into necessity. The city's balance remains, but shifts. Awareness of change. People begin to notice, not with alarm, with curiosity. Something is different, difficult to define, but present. The first question of what next. London has learnt how to be. Now it begins to ask, what comes next? Not urgently, but quietly. Habit meets possibility. Routine continues, but alongside it, possibility appears. New directions, new speeds, new ideas. The city stands between what it knows and what it has not yet experienced. The calm before acceleration. This moment is important because it is calm, balanced, but on the edge of something larger. London does not yet rush forward, but it is no longer entirely still. A city preparing without knowing. Preparation happens quietly, without planning, without awareness. Conditions shift, connections grow, energy gathers. London prepares for a future it cannot yet see. Hold this image gently now. A familiar street, slightly busier than before. Carriages moving just a little faster. Voices layered more closely together. The river carrying more than it once did. Nothing has broken. Nothing has changed dramatically, and yet everything is beginning to move. Breathe slowly now. Let the subtle shift settle. The city at the threshold. Settle a little deeper now, my friend. Let the quiet shift of the city remain with you. Not loud enough to disturb, but present enough to be felt. Tonight, London stands in a place it has not stood before. Not in chaos, not in certainty, but at a threshold, a moment between worlds. Georgian London has learned balance. It has shaped itself carefully, ordered its streets, measured its voice, and now it pauses. Not because it must, but because something new approaches. The feeling of something unnamed. There is a feeling in the city, difficult to describe, not fear, not excitement, awareness, that what has been stable may not remain unchanged. Familiar patterns begin to shift. Daily life continues, morning routines, evening gatherings, but beneath repetition, something loosens. Patterns no longer feel permanent, they feel temporary. The weight of growth. The city is larger now, more people, more activity, more expectation. Growth brings possibility, but also pressure. London begins to feel its own size, streets that carry more than before. Walk through the streets again. They are still ordered, still balanced, but fuller. Movement overlaps, sound layers. The city holds more than it once did. Time becomes more demanding. Time, once gentle, begins to tighten. Schedules matter more. Delays feel sharper. Moments carry weight. London begins to move not only with rhythm, but with expectation. The quiet rise of efficiency. People think differently now, not only about balance, but about speed. How to do more, move faster, reach further. The idea of efficiency enters quietly, but it stays. The river feels heavy with motion. Return once more to the Thames. It still flows calmly, but carries more goods, more journeys, more purpose. The river no longer feels only timeless. It feels active. The city begins to outgrow itself. Some spaces feel strained, not broken, but stretched. Rooms hold more life than before. Streets carry more movement. London begins to sense its own limits. Elegance holds but is tested. The city remains composed. Facades still aligned. Voices still measured, but effort increases. Balance is no longer effortless. It must be maintained. Differences become more visible. The contrast we noticed before deepens. Some lives expand, others compress. The same city, but more clearly divided. London cannot ignore this forever. Awareness grows quietly. People notice, not loudly, but steadily, that the city is changing, that something is approaching, even if they cannot yet name it. The first signs of acceleration. Movement increases, not dramatically, but enough to feel. Carriages move with purpose. Footsteps carry intention. The pace shifts, just slightly. A city looking forward. For the first time, London begins to look ahead. not only maintain what exists, but anticipate what may come. This is new and subtle. Memory meets possibility. The past remains. Order, balance, elegance. But alongside it, possibility grows. The city stands between what it has been and what it will become, the edge of a new rhythm. The rhythm of London is changing, not breaking. Not yet, but stretching, preparing for something faster, something larger. A threshold without announcement. There is no single moment, no clear beginning, just a gradual crossing. London moves forward without fully realizing it. The calm before transformation. This calm remains important because it is the last of its kind, not disappearing, but evolving. The city does not lose itself. It changes shape. Hold this image gently now. A city still composed, but carrying more than before. Streets fuller, voices slightly closer, movement just a little faster. The river flowing with quiet purpose. London stands at the edge, not falling, not rushing, just ready. Breathe slowly now. Let the threshold settle. A city that gently lets go. Settle in a little deeper now, my friend. Let everything you have seen, everything you have felt, rest softly around you. The streets, the rooms, the quiet conversations, the measured movement. Tonight, we do not follow London forward. We allow it to slow, the end that does not announce itself. There is no single moment when Georgian London ends, no final bell, no clear dividing line. The city does not stop being what it is. It simply begins to become something else. What remains? Walk once more through the city. The squares are still there, balanced, symmetrical. The townhouses stand quietly, windows aligned, doors centered. Nothing has disappeared. And yet, something is changing, a style that settles into memory. Georgian elegance does not vanish. It settles into streets, into habits, into the way people remember the city. It becomes part of London's memory, always present. Even as new layers arrive, the slowing of certainty. What once felt stable now feels less certain. Not unstable, but open. The city no longer assumes that tomorrow will look like today. This is a quiet but important shift, the first glimpse of a faster world. Movement increases, not enough to disrupt, but enough to notice. Carriages feel more purposeful, voices slightly more urgent. Time begins to press gently, balance begins to stretch. The balance that defined Georgian London remains, but it stretches, holding more people, more activity, more expectation. The structure still stands, but it carries more weight. The city learns to release. London does not resist change. It does not hold tightly to what it has been. Instead, it releases. Not all at once, gradually, allowing new forms to enter, memory without resistance. There is no regret here, no longing for what must remain unchanged. Only recognition that each moment becomes part of something larger. London understands this quietly. The river continues. Return now, one last time, to the Thames. The river flows as it always has, unconcerned with eras, unaware of transitions. Boats pass, water moves. London finds comfort here. Some things do not need to change, a city that carries its past. Georgian London does not disappear. It becomes a layer, held within the city, felt in its structure, seen in its streets, remembered in its rhythm. The past is not left behind. It is carried. The quiet arrival of what comes next. Without announcement, something new begins. Not fully visible, not fully formed, but present. A different kind of energy, a different pace. London does not resist it, it allows it to arrive. The space between eras, This moment matters, the space between what has been and what will be. It is quiet, uncertain, but full. London rests here briefly, letting the city rest. Now let the city slow again. The streets soften, the sounds fade, the movement quiets, everything settles. What Georgian London leaves behind? It leaves behind more than buildings. It leaves a way of being, balance, restraint, elegance without excess, a belief that life can be arranged gently, a final walk. Take one last slow walk through a quiet square, past aligned windows, across a bridge over calm water. Nothing rushes, nothing demands attention, everything simply exists. A city that does not end. London does not end. It continues, always, changing without losing itself. This is its nature. The night grows deeper. The city fades into night. Lights dim, voices quiet. Movement slows to stillness. Let it drift away. You do not need to hold the details now. Let them drift, like the river, like the light, like the sound of distant wheels. Fold this final image gently now. A calm city at rest, a river moving without effort, streets that remember every step taken upon them, a time that has passed, but not disappeared. Georgian London has not ended. It has become part of everything that follows. Breathe slowly now. Let the city fade and rest.